me do a rare movie review in the lights. This is about Eighth Grade, a 2018 film written and directed by Bo Burnham, who is a fellow who actually got his start on YouTube making films here. I don't think I've actually ever watched any of his stuff then. I might actually just sort of track that down and see what he did. This movie follows Kayla, a girl who is just finishing up the eighth grade, and this being the American system, this is middle school, and she will be going on to high school in the next year, so it's kind of a big transition point. And she is not coping that well. She gets voted the most silent or withdrawn or introverted student in her school, as one of these cruel prizes. You know, they got class clown and you know, all these other awards, but then they have the kid we never hear of, who's the cipher. It's like, and she gets a box, which is you mail to yourself in sixth grade, saying like, oh, I hope you have a, what's your, do you have a boyfriend, hopefully you're having great successes and all this. And it's like, she is super isolated. She doesn't have any friends. It's that nadir that a lot of kids find going through school. At least that's definitely what I found. For me, eighth grade in Canada under our system, that's where you started high school, and it was a year of hell. And it seems to be very much that for her. She's awkward. She doesn't like people. There's a horrific pool party, which she ends up going to. That the girl who's holding it, it's a birthday party for her, and she didn't care about her. This is a film where, very much, as a 50-year-old watching it, it's like, this is, kids who are completely immersed in in all the new technology. It opens with her doing a YouTube video, addressing the camera. She's sort of doing kind of aspirational, giving advice to kids on how to be more self-confident and cool like herself, even though that's nothing of what she is. She's sort of doing that to kind of cope with it herself. And it comes off as the very kind of rote advice that that she's probably listened to, but is no way is getting at the kind of the core of that yawning chasm of self-doubt and worry and confusion and longing that is all in there. There's a cute boy who is a complete asshole. There are there's other teenage boys that she encounters in this, and there's actually one who's fairly decent, and there's also another one who's definitely is if not a sexual predator, is somebody who, this could be a real danger for her in her life. I watched this, the modern way, which is on my phone, and I watched it in chunks because it was just so achingly uncomfortable, and you felt so much for her, but it also gave me flashbacks to my own eighth grade, even though I had a completely different experience coming from the boys' side, which is both completely different and the same. And I didn't have, the things that I buried myself in were books and stuff like that. The stuff she's burying herself in is very much, the social media that's feeding her all these different images of happiness, relentless happiness, and her very much feeling she is outside of that. But I mean, I could also imagine that of, as a introvert, eighth grader myself, it was like you feel like everybody else is having fun and has friends and stuff like that, and you feel horribly isolated, and the secret being that different experiences, but there's a lot of other kids in a similar boat, even if they are surrounded by friends and stuff like that. So yeah, Elsie Fisher did a really, really good job of just kind of putting across that kind of vulnerability, that kind of uncertainness. It does kind of come to kind of a happy conclusion, because I guess it's an American film. She has a relationship with a father who is awkward and stuff like that really does actually love her. He gets a bit of a speech, which, and the impact that it has, I don't know. This is a part of, like, we're going to push this towards positivity at the end, which I guess you want to do. You don't want the thing of like, yeah, you're just going to be horribly fucking miserable for a good couple of years, kid, and hopefully you will get out of it. That, that's the thing you always try and go with is there'll be something different. You get to adulthood and it'll be different. It could be horrible too in a different way, or it could be better. I mean, I speaking as for myself, there was nowhere to go but up from that grade 8. Well, there's actually going down a bit more after that, but yeah, yeah. So, uh, uh, it was a strangely intense film for me, and yeah, yeah, yeah. As somebody who now makes YouTube videos, uh, you know. There's strangely that part of it of like, wow, well, I came to this like as a late 40-year-old. It's like, what would, oh, I shudder to think what I would have produced if I was making videos at her age. That would have been horrific. She's, you can tell she's together just because of she's actually trying to do a positive thing there. And as halting and as uncertain as she is just like also freaking amazing. This Kayla. Yeah. So that is my rambling thoughts on Eighth Grade by Bo Burnham. More videos later.